Welcome to Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast. Hey there, it's JD. Welcome to Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast. This week, we are going to tackle the middle child, the middle song in Slate Tracks 1933 to 1969. It's called Maybe, Maybe. It's the shortest song on the record, clocking in at just over 2 minutes. But it packs a wallop. It packs a punch. And there's a lot going on inside the song. On a previous iteration of this episode, I made mention of, sharp right turns. The song makes so many sharp right turns. It's a square where a song should be. And I stand by that. There are, sort of four main components to this track, and it's a good one. It really shows off the punk sensibility. I think that this band was flirting with big time, during this era of recording with Gary Young at the Louder Than You Think studios. On that note, how cool is it to think that Scott and Steven made this EP and ultimately made a career for the both of them and the band in 4 hours with $800 on the 17th and 18th of January, 1989. When you think about that, when you wrap your head around that, the serendipity of it all, it's it's staggering, because that shit just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen that way. And in this case, they captured lightning in a bottle with Slate Tracks, followed it up with a couple more great EPs, and then delivered the landmark Slanted and Enchanted, which I can't wait to start tackling with you all on this show. As far as the tune breaks down, you've got dual guitar, you've got Scott and Steven both playing guitar, and then even though Gary played drums on Box Elder, this track, the drums are covered by Stephen Malcolmus. And I think he does a really good job. There's some cool, I don't know what you call it, but when you're hitting just the rim of the snare drum, just sort of, just play a bit of a rhythm on that. There's that going on in this song, and then there's some big tom moments. So it's a different sounding song rhythmically, but it's handled rather deftly. The way the song breaks down is a really cool little trick off the top, where you've got a split channel. In the left channel, you've got chord progression being jangled out, and it's pretty loose, but it's there. It's in the left side, and then on the right side, you've got a string being bent with a real minor sound. And it's almost like a sick cat or a sad cat outside your window. Meow, meow. There might be a pedal affecting it as well, like a wah or something like that, to just sustain that meow, sound, so they don't have to bend quite as far. If you know exactly how it's done, let me know. That would be cool. info@meetingmalcolmus.com. So they do this for 8 bars. There's an 8-bar introduction done just like I went through with you there. And then from there, after the 8th bar, you go into that's the intro. You go into the hard intro, which is double timed, and it's a real punk feeling, jangly, loose sounding progression. It's definitely, there's no argument that this is showing off the punk side of Pavement, but this is what it is, and it's really quite cool. It's sloppy sounding, and sloppy sounds derogatory, so I don't want it to be derogatory, but it just sounds like haphazard, and yet you can tell there's thought put into it. I don't know that the thought is so meta that they're trying to make it sound sloppy, but it's carefree. And then the lyrics kick in, and they are squealed by Malcolmus with delight. I can tell you that the lyrics that are written online don't jive for me. I'm not sure. The lyrics that they have written online are, "What I was a pissing Johnson, and what she was a faded bombshell. I'm okay with that. That's your verse, and then you go into that that cool drum rhythm on the rim, and it's maybe, and over and over and over again. The second verse, after you get through the maybe part, you go into a real fuzzed out sort of setup for the second verse. It's an interstitial that's really fuzzy, and I don't know, there's a Black Sabbath-y almost vibe to it. And then the second verse is, what I was a monk. What I was a mark inside her hand. And what she was a 10-pound brick. It doesn't quite sound like he says that in the song. It doesn't sound like he says she's a 10-pound brick. And yet, if he does say that, that's a wonderful lyric. Just the idea, the idea of a person being a 10-pound brick, weighting you down, bringing you down. She was a faded bombshell, and now she's a 10-pound brick. Just somebody that, is living in this town, Stockton, that, once had it so good and is now somebody that is just an albatross, I suppose, around the neck of whomever is holding her arm. Really kind of a neat idea there. And then, of course, you go into the maybe part. From there, you go back to the fuzz, and you're out. It's quick, it's dirty, it's 2 minutes, and you're there. That's maybe. That's ultimately the product of this session with Malcolmus and Canberg getting together and laying down 5 songs on on vinyl. It's nuts to think about, because this EP was just so highly regarded by writers and radio disc jockeys throughout America, and ultimately throughout the Western world, really. What do you think about Maybe? Where does it rank for you on Slay Tracks or in the overall Pavement canon? Let me know at Meeting Malcolmus or info@meetingmalcolmus.com. I would love to hear from you. And if you've got a story about Maybe, I'll read it on the show. That's it for this week. All we need to do now is listen to this goddamn song. This is Maybe by Pavement on Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast.
Was a pissing dozen and
Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast, is a weekly affair. You can listen, share, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about the show, go to www.meetingmalcolmus.com. I tweet and Instagram at Meeting Malcolmus. Stephen, are you listening?
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.